Have you ever wondered about the ancient trade routes that shaped our world today? Let's set our compass back in time and embark on a journey to explore the historical significance of these routes. At the heart of this story, we find the Silk Road, an intricate network of trade routes that bridged the East and West for centuries. These routes were the arteries of ancient commerce, pulsating with the flow of goods from one region to another. But the Silk Road was much more than a marketplace. It was a melting pot of ideas, cultures, and technologies. From the delicate silks of China to the aromatic spices of India, from the philosophical ideas of Greece to the scientific advancements of the Arabs, the Silk Road was the highway that transported these treasures across continents. These ancient pathways of commerce and culture were not just routes of trade, but bridges connecting distant worlds. You may ask, what were the forces that drove these ancient trade routes? Well, let's delve into the political, social, and economic factors that played a pivotal role in their establishment and operation. Starting with the political aspect, rulers of various dynasties across Asia saw the immense potential in these trade routes. They recognized that by supporting and protecting these routes, they could strengthen diplomatic ties with other kingdoms, gain access to valuable resources, and even spread their influence. For instance, the Han Dynasty of China heavily invested in the Silk Road, which not only boosted their economy, but also helped them extend their reach far into Central Asia. Now, moving on to the economic side of things. The ancient trade routes were the lifeblood of merchants and traders. They were avenues for immense wealth and prosperity. From precious silk and spices to gold, ivory, and even horses, these routes facilitated the exchange of a vast array of goods. This trade led to the accumulation of wealth, which in turn spurred economic growth and development in the regions these routes traversed. Lastly, let's touch on the social aspect. The Silk Road, among other routes, was more than just a conduit for trade. It was a melting pot of cultures, religions, and ideas. Travelers along these routes didn't just exchange goods, they shared stories, philosophies, and innovations. This cross-cultural interaction had a profound impact on the societies along these pathways, influencing everything from art and architecture to religion and language. In essence, these ancient trade routes were not just about moving goods from point A to point B. They were a complex network influenced by political ambitions, economic desires, and social interactions. They were the veins that pumped life into the heart of ancient civilizations, shaping the world as we know it today. So, these ancient pathways were not just about the exchange of goods, but also a complex interplay of political, social, and economic factors. The ancient trade routes were more than just roads for caravans, weren't they? They were in fact the arteries that connected the heart of civilizations, carrying not only goods but also ideas, religions, and cultures to far-off lands. Let's think beyond commerce for a moment. These routes, crisscrossing the vast expanses of Central Asia, were conduits for the spread of religions like Buddhism, Christianity, and Islam. For instance, Buddhism, originating from the Indian subcontinent, found its way to China and beyond through these networks, profoundly influencing the philosophies, arts, and cultures of these regions. And it wasn't just religion that traveled along these routes. The ancient trade routes were like open-air universities where scientific, artistic, and technological ideas were exchanged. Take the example of papermaking technology. Originating in China, it traveled to the Middle East and then on to Europe, revolutionizing the way knowledge was stored and shared. Similarly, the mathematical concept of zero, birthed in India, made its way to the Arab world and later to Europe, profoundly influencing scientific and mathematical thinking. These routes were also venues for diplomatic exchanges, fostering relationships between distant kingdoms and empires. They facilitated political alliances, peace treaties, and even marriages, knitting together a world that was otherwise divided by mountains, deserts, and seas. Moreover, these routes were the first steps towards globalization, creating a world that was interconnected and interdependent. They fostered a sense of shared humanity, encouraging empathy, understanding, and appreciation for diverse cultures and ways of life. Indeed, the impact of these routes was profound, shaping the course of human history in ways that still resonate today. They were not mere paths etched in the sand, but lifelines that shaped civilizations, cultures, and the collective consciousness of humanity. Even today, as we live in an increasingly globalized world, we can trace our interconnectedness back to these ancient trade routes. They are a testament to our shared history and a reminder of our common destiny. The echoes of the ancient trade routes still reverberate today, don't they? It's fascinating to realize that the Silk Road, This ancient network of trade routes set the stage for modern global commerce. It was a conduit not just for silk, but for a multitude of goods, ideas, and cultural practices that traveled across continents. The Silk Road's influence extended to the formation of modern political boundaries too. The trails that traders traversed, the cities they frequented, these all played a part in shaping the geopolitical landscape of Central Asia. Many of today's national borders are, in a way, echoes of the past, remnants of the routes that were once teeming with merchants, pilgrims, and explorers. But perhaps the most enduring legacy of the Silk Road is seen in the cultural and technological exchanges it facilitated. It wasn't just silk, spices, or precious metals that changed hands. Knowledge was traded too. Innovations in science, technology, art, and literature flowed freely along these routes, intermingling and evolving as they moved from one civilization to another. Think about it: the stirrup, paper-making, the compass, gunpowder, the printing press. These are but a few of the technological advancements that were spread via the Silk Road. And the cultural exchanges? They've shaped and enriched societies in ways that are immeasurable and continue to resonate even in our modern world. The ancient trade routes, in essence, laid the foundation for the interconnected world we live in today. So, the ancient trade routes were not merely roads for commerce, but arteries pumping life into human civilizations. They defined the political, social, and economic landscapes of Central Asia, shaping the world as we know it today. These routes were more than just paths for trade, they were conduits for culture, ideas, and innovation. Their legacy lives on, echoing through the corridors of time and continuing to influence our modern world. The Silk Road Chronicles, tracing the ancient trade routes of Central Asia, truly reveal the intricate tapestry of our shared human history.